Heat 7 of round 1. Jordy Smith, the former runner-up in this event, up against Kai Otten of Australia, who'll be in the white. Jeremy Flores, the Frenchman, looking to really return to the top end of the Championship Tour ranks after a pretty dismal performance in 2014. Extremely busy out there, but hasn't done better than a 1.77 at this stage of the game. So really this heat is still anyone's. It's just going to be a short one as we head into the final 19 minutes. Jordy Smith just opening up. There's some of those big, committed, drawn-out turns that I think all surfers on tour really struggle to match. And Jordy brings it right through to the inside. There's a nice little fin drift. Looking pretty casual on this wave, but Jordy can kind of spring to life at any moment as he brings it through to the inside, just surfing with a lot of flow. Nice little float, and bang, there's a little tail drift. And another maneuver, so just racking up the turns, and that was a pretty small wave, but I think Jordy just wanted to get something on the board. He has been in a situation in this event in the past, even last year, where he found himself wanting a score at the end of the heat, and with no time on the clock, he was bundled out of the event.
Yeah, so, man, that was a lot of maneuvers there for Jordy, but the pace was dictated by this wave. You know, it was just kind of slowly worked its way down the sandbar. Never had that exciting, steep, cupped-out wall that Snapper Rocks is known for. But guess what? It didn't close out either, so it allowed Jordy to string together 100 maneuvers. And he looked so fluid, very smooth. It's so rare for someone 6'4" to not dig a rail in waist-high waves, and Jordy is a genius at that. One
thing that the judges do love, though, Ross, we saw Medina, he was basically racking up big scores towards the end section of his ride. Jordy took off on that wave and made sure he made the most of the two big opportunities that were presented. A couple of massive turns here to get started. And here we go, live action, Jeremy Flores. He kicks the fins free and does it again as he transitions down the line, surfing with a lot of speed. Jeremy just losing control a little bit there, but regains it perfectly as this one stands up on the inside section, looking for a big finish here. And he's looking super aggressive, very fired up for this clash in the first round. Let's see what Kai Otten can do. Just a backhand float as that wave shuts down on the inside.
Wow, that's pretty impressive there from Jeremy Flores. Now we've seen such a slow start in this heat, and finally the waves are cooperating. Jeremy, I agree, you know, he got a little loose on that big maneuver, but he held it together and he finished that wave off, so it's going to be a good score. We kind of missed Kai Otten's wave, so let's see what he does on the replay here. Again, you were talking about how deadly this guy's backhand maneuvers are, and there it is on display. Very loose. He's a stringy guy, but he has a ton of leverage. So even though you know, he's not the biggest guy on tour, he's got some power with great technique.
Always competitive, and Jeremy Flores on the replay.
Jeremy finding a groove here, really engaging that rail. Nice snap right here. He gets a little loose on this turn. Sorry, this turn right here is where he flies the tail out the back, and but he recovers nicely. Even though that looked like he lost control, he made it. He kind of pulled it off, like, no, I meant to do that, and then got the rail engaged again and finished that wave off. A little 2-for-1 in there on the inside. Old school for Jeremy, but a couple big moves on the outside.
For me, when you look at someone's form in a contest, really, yeah, you do look at the major maneuvers that they do, but it's interesting to see what a form surfer can do with a flat section of wave, and Jeremy made the most of some of the fatter sections on that last wave, as we see Jordy Smith live now taking it forward. Smith, Kai Otten and Jeremy Flores, but we're starting to see some sets roll through now, and Jeremy Flores scored an 8.17 on his last wave, looking to really back that up with something strong here, climbing up over the foam, just sort of working away on this wave, waiting for it to stand up through the Little Marley section. He wants to get some damage done here. He kicks on out, and chasing him down the line is Kai Otten, and we're waiting on scores to come through for Kai's first wave, and he's just standing on the tail, hoping to get an opportunity to lay down something big here. This wave's going to run again, and Kai just throws down a cheeky little backside air. Not a lot of points in those maneuvers, but you know, it's just about finding your groove out there, and if you're pulling those turns off, it's just confidence building. But here goes Jordy. He's got a bigger wall, just loses his back foot there and sits on the tail of his board. 13 minutes remaining, and big numbers for Jeremy Flores in that previous ride. But let's see what Kai did on the outside section here, Ross.
Well, once this guy gets going, he's relentless. He starts stinging like a bee, just can't stop. So if he finds the right rhythm with the wave. He gets synced up perfectly, and he'll string together a bunch of those backhand snaps. So he found a pretty good groove there through the middle of that wave, and then it got kind of sleepy. So he stomped on the tail a little bit, just trying to wipe speed off, waiting for that wave to build back up on the sandbar. I don't think the judges will get super excited about that little error, but nonetheless, showing he's in control. And again, Jeremy dropping that excellent score, 8.17. Looking for the backup. I like this little foam climb there. He got kind of extra vertical there. So showing, again, he's on a board that looks pretty darn good for him. Unfortunate for Jeremy, that wave completely lost it on the end there. You know, he really wanted that wave to get steep, and it got fat, so he's going to be looking for another score.
He might get just a mid-range score, though, that gets him into the lead, which will make him feel pretty comfortable. A big frontside carve to get started on that wave, and even though it really didn't line up through the inside, well, he had one just mind-blowing wave from last year at Jeffreys Bay.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, he bowed out of that event early. I think it threw him.
I instantly know what you're talking about.
Through his year, but a 10-point ride, a wave that I can watch over and over again with no aerial, no fin drifts, just pure rail.
And, it's really on display this morning.
Kai Otten, such a fierce competitor, just selling this wave to Jordy Smith. Jordy had priority. Look how glassy it is out there at the moment. And Jordy just digs into that front side pocket carve and just flowing down the line. And there is a big layback jam. He has so much variation on his front side. And he's not finished with this wave yet. Sticking with it. Wants to throw something exciting here for the judges. And hoiks a reverse, but unable to stay over his board.
You just saw that little side chop that goes with the wave. It's frustrating as a surfer if you have that on that inside bowl in the little Marley section. Tough to pull off an exciting move with that. But that layback hack he pulls off through this midsection was unbelievable. That carve right there, so much speed. That board looks amazing under Jordy's feet. Right there, showing a little variety there, which is tough to do. You know, out here, when you get a long wall in front of you, sometimes you can get stuck with the same maneuver in your head. So I love the fact that Jordy's mixing it up. You know, Kai Otten dropped an excellent score as well, so we've got a barn burner on our hands here.
Banting, Jack Freestone, all three went out there, put huge heat score totals together. Things sort of changed, and each of the competitors has since gone out there and absolutely lit the place up. Kai Otten up once again, chasing a score to get into the lead, chasing a 7.95. Working through some backhand carves here, hoping this wave stands up and he can get these kind of maneuvers done. Transition turns with a little fin drift and just working away. Looking super fit, Kai. Last year he welcomed a baby to the family. Yeah. Oscar, he's got his family up here now, and I think that can be a bit of a distraction for some of the surfers. Obviously, trying to travel when you've got a baby is quite difficult, but looking really sharp and ready to do damage in 2015.
I can attest to that. Traveling with a lot of kids can be extra work, but he looks rested. Doesn't look like he's been changing diapers all night. He is flaring out here, stringing again. Again, a lot of maneuvers on that backhand. These goofy footers, you could argue, have a little bit of an advantage on that little Marley section when it runs. Those backside climbs, very scoreable.
Jordy Smith, he is just cruising into this one. Didn't see too much happening down the line. Kicked out. There's 3 minutes remaining.
6.67. It was waist high, you know, and that was the difference.
Here's Jeremy Flores. This will be his last shot at chasing down the score. 45 seconds remaining. Needs a 7.98. And he is looking super sharp. Is there enough juice in this wave for Jeremy to get some major turns done? He's got some speed. He's going to have to launch if he wants it. And there is just on 30 seconds to go. I don't think he's going to get there. A 7.98 is a decent number.
There's the frustration setting in, and that's unfortunate for Jeremy because he was flying on that end section. You could see how hungry he was for a ramp, something to boost. And, you know, to get that 8-point ride, that's what he needed. That wave fizzled.
Bummed on the slow start to the heat. And he racked up a number of 1-point rides, throwaways really, but then found his groove on an 8.17. He just put away a 4.37, so didn't get the score he needed. Jordy Smith wins heat number 7 of round 1 with an 8.47 and a 7.67. Kai Otten in second, Jeremy Flores in third. Another big heat here in the first round.